Man, the bank looks beautiful, but the water is 49 degrees and there's still not a lot of fish, folks. I do see like one fish here, two fish there, and it becomes a sniping work, and I don't like to snipe. Well, I say I don't like, but the painful truth is that if you have this kind of boat, this is a catfish and carp boat. It's not a panfish boat, folks. It's hard for sniping because the boat keeps moving. You have to hold the live scope like this. But I'm gonna do a few casts. How am I gonna fish now if the wind is like that? Oh, there's some fish in the deep too. Let's try to catch some deeper fish. This is the $200 Preso USA. Let's check the thumbnail. You're gonna notice the reel could not be a worse mismatch for that rod. This reel does not match the rod in terms of aesthetics, but this is the only reel that I have with braid on it. And today I want to see how the Preso Air fishes as a float rod with braid. Because last time I fished it like 10 days ago, I was gonna say 10 weeks, on this same lake. And I had the Legalis here with 4-pound mono, and it was casting far enough. It was definitely casting far enough, and I caught plenty of fish, but I did not enjoy the 4-pound line going through the guides. Yeah. What is this? Bluegill on the rocks? One of these baby bass. I cannot believe TWRA is still dropping baby bass in this lake. There is one fish. Interesting feel. I forgot how braid feels. I had forgotten how braid feels. Huh. Huh, interesting. With the solid tip. Can I just lift this fish? It's kind of small. Wow, this fish is ready to spawn. This fish is ready to spawn. Belly, belly. I hate harvesting pregnant fish, folks. It feels very unethical to harvest pregnant fish. It feels very unethical to me. Just something makes me uncomfortable. And this was a 9-inch crappie. I think you can harvest the 9-inch crappie without damage to the lake. I want to see what this is. I want to see what this is. This is something with weight. This thing has some weight. Did they drop catfish? They stock the lake with catfish a few times a year. Oh no, that's a nice crappie. Why does this fish felt so heavy? Not felt. Why did this fish feel so heavy? Oh, it's hooked funny. Did I snag you? I snagged this fish. I snagged this fish on the nose. And that was enough to change the angle. Look how I snagged it. Whoa, I snagged it with a size 14 hook. Look at this, folks. I will still release this fish unharmed. I snagged it, but the hook is so tiny. The mouth is not torn, there is no blood. This one doesn't have eggs. Okay, there is a tiny hole somewhere in the face of the fish, but I refuse to believe that this hole is harmful even a little bit, because when you go to take a flu shot, they make a tiny hole in your skin from the needle. Is that harmful to you? There is no need to recover. Like, do you have to recover after you take a flu shot? Not really, right? Because a hole this small, and it's not in the belly, it's in the mouth of the fish, where, you know what I'm saying. Try to get something else. Yeah, there is fish just with 49-degree water, but we had some warm days here, a few warm days. And the fish is starting to move shallow, because I can tell you, 10 days ago, there was no fish here. There was nothing here. There was no life here. They will go shallow in the winter. They will go very shallow if the water warms up, but it will be shallow water close to deep water. Shallow water close to deep water, folks. It's different. Now we are in shallow water that is not close to deep water. It's shallow water close to shallow water, if you know what I mean. Okay. That was not that funny. But yeah, in March the fish go in shallow water. Is this one with eggs? Let me move this a little bit. I did bring the anchor in case I find fish. Look, this hook came out without removal, full of eggs. How do you not find it unethical? Especially people in the south. I came here to test the Preso Air, the US Preso Air. I came to see how it feels with Braid before I make the final review. The one thing, after fishing it every which way possible, one thing I'm very curious is, how would this rod perform as a float rod with Braid? Because with nylon, I fished it with nylon last week, and I caught plenty of fish and I enjoyed fighting the fish, but the guides on this rod are too small for 4-pound nylon, folks. They are too small. Man, is this really a small crappie again? For some reason, maybe this reel has very low gear ratio, has no power or something. For some reason these fish feel very heavy to me. They feel very heavy, I don't know why. When I set the hook, I feel like I have a 12-inch crappie. It feels very heavy. The guides on this rod, folks, in my opinion, are too small for 4-pound nylon. And I'm using Japanese 4-pound nylon. If you're buying this 4-pound Vicious, that yellow ugly thing. Where was I, folks? I should not have taken that phone call. I'm all upset now. The fish is gone. What a mistake taking phone calls when you're fishing, folks. Can I get a here? I told them, new rule in my house. If something is broken, do not call me when I'm fishing. I'll fix it when I get home. I'm not fixing stuff over the phone when I am fishing. I wait all week to go fishing, and now you decide to go on the computer and you don't know how to print a label or whatever. You're gonna wait until I get home. No more fixing stuff when I am fishing. There is still fish here, but they move around. I have to move the net. But it's just so comfy here and so easy to net them here. Man, that's a good crappie, folks. That is a good one. Not for harvesting. I think we touched on that more than perhaps what we should have. I'm sure some people will not appreciate my comments on the harvesting. Man, even here, look, a little bit of a hole. Goddamn braid. I don't think when I fished with the nylon, look, I made a tiny hole here. I don't think when I fished with nylon I was making holes there. Now this fish is full of eggs. Yeah. No sympathy for mama crappie full of eggs, right? What? Nothing? Okay, not that many, but there is some. Oh, there is one. I didn't even see. The glare is so strong. I pulled it to recast and I felt a fish. Hey, first bluegill. First bluegill. And that is a good mama bluegill. Come on, no sympathy for pregnant mama bluegill either. Come on. It's funny, the wind changed direction 180 degrees. Huh? There is one. Yeah, I guess if you fish for bluegill, the braid is not a concern because the mouth of a bluegill is so tight and strong that there is nothing to tear over there. Take that, Catfish Dave. There's nothing to tear over there. I need to make a, that's a good bluegill, and it has some color. They are starting to have some color. No more I so pale.
I so pale. You're on it.
It cannot stay for 1 second, and on top of that you have a horrible spot lock. This spot lock, they need artificial intelligence. They need artificial intelligence to teach it how to keep you in one place. Oh man, this is a good daddy. Folks, have some sympathy for daddy too. Daddy needs to do the daddy business. Because when they drop the eggs without Big Daddy to protect the eggs, the fry, these fish have very poor chance of survival. And that was a good daddy. That was an 8.5-inch daddy. Let this daddy do his daddy business. Give them a month of doing mommy and daddy business, folks. Have some sympathy. I'm surprised how people in the South have no sympathy for pregnant fish in the spring. Tossing them in the cooler, putting the Facebook pictures with this pregnant fish, big smile, ear to ear smile. Look at how many pregnant fish I killed today. And everybody on Facebook, thumbs up, thumbs up. Good job, buddy. That's how you kill pregnant fish in spring. Good job, buddy. You're a great pregnant mama killer in the spring. You're great, buddy. Good job. That's a full cooler with pregnant fish. That's how you do it. No sympathy. There is some fish very shallow here. I would love to drop anchor. So I have the sun behind me, the wind behind me, no trolling motor noise, but fish. Let's see what this is. Yeah. Preso Air. Look at this fat mama, folks. This is an 8-inch bluegill. Let's measure one of them. What am I in? 4.5 feet of water. This is 8.5-inch bluegill, folks. I do not want to pose for pictures, but that's a terrible angle. Maybe 8.25. But I feel if you stretch it right, it will be 8.5. And that was a healthy, clean fish. No spots, no nothing. Come on, brothers from the south, have some sympathy for a pregnant mama in the spring. They just grab the tail and they try to slurp it like a spaghetti. But they can't inhale the hook that way. You have to kind of eat the whole thing, not just grab the tail first. If you grab the tail first, it's not gonna work. This one ate it properly, and it feels properly. This one feels very properly because it's a little crappie. Should I hit spot lock here? Let me hit spot lock, even though I'm in open water. Yeah, if you fight crappie with braid, use extra caution and extra patience, and use net. Let's see if we tore the mouth. No, we didn't, because it got drilled through the nose. It got drilled in the thick. No, it did tore it just a little bit. Look, we did tear it just a little bit. Look right here. I caught him in 4 feet of water. It's not like I pulled him out of 20 feet deep and his guts went in his mouth. You know what I'm talking about. I believe that feller will be just fine. Maybe even the ligament will recover. Do I have a biologist? Can this ligament recover? Here's another one. Man, feels good again. Feels good again, man. I'm gonna hit spot lock again. I'm gonna just hit it. Man, feels good. It feels solid, folks. Folks, look at the bend curve of this rod. It's very smooth. Very smooth, and the middle is very forgiving. The middle is very active in the fight. The middle is very active. I like this rod. Solid tip with braid. You know, I have never recommended braid. Have I once recommended braid for any application? And I'm not even gonna recommend it for this application. But I will say this. I feel of all of the ways I used this rod, and I used it for everything. You saw me deep water fish with it, with the 3 gram. You saw me twitch in the shallow water. I float fished with monofilament. Now I'm float fishing with braid, and I have to tell you, the most enjoyable. Oh, I fished with realistic fishing. I didn't publish that video, but I fished from the bank with the Presso reel and the 2-pound ester. But fishing now with the float, folks, and this jig. First of all, the casting, this 6-pound braid, oh my gosh, folks, it is flying out of the rod width just with like nothing. And these guides are ceramic. They're not gonna get eaten by the braid. This is a smooth braid anyway. The reason I hate braid is that it is too stiff and has no give, and I just hate the feel of it. I don't care how strong it is on paper, I hate the feel of the damn thing. And the reason I hate the solid tips is they're too soft. Look at the tip. Can you see it? What background can I give you? This is the definition of extra fast action. Too damn soft. However, mathematically, when you add up too damn soft with too damn stiff, you kind of end up with acceptable combination. Out of everything that I tried, I think this is the application that is the most enjoyable. 6-pound braid, float, casting 50 feet out, no problem. When you set the hook, it's because it's so sharp, so easy to set the hook even with a solid tip. And when you fight the fish, it is not too harsh. And one last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to end the video. I thought this rod felt good with the Legalis, and it did. But with this 150 gram reel Complex XR, I have never float fished with a better feeling float combo in my life, folks. I thought the Shimano Soare XR felt good, but the Soare XR is kind of a heavy rod. Even though it's more expensive, I would bet money that it's heavier than this rod. And if it's not heavier, it definitely feels heavier. That's the reason why I always fish the Shimano Soare XR with the 200 gram Sahara to kind of balance it out. And it feels good together, sensitive and everything, but it's kind of heavy. And this rig in my hand, folks, I mean, it is so light, so sharp. I thought the Shimano Soare XR had a sharp tip when I twitched a float with it. This thing, twitching a float with this rod is like, oh my goodness, this is something else, folks. And with this reel, it weighs absolutely nothing. I think the Soare XR colors will match here amazingly. And this rod is so light and balanced so good that it can actually take advantage of the low weight of the reel. Hey, you know what else will match good with this rod? The Cast King, what was it? Kestrel? I know it's not as smooth and all of that, the resistance, but the Cast King Kestrel will look very good with this rod too. And I know that you guys found that reel in some crazy deals, but if you don't have $200 to pay for the Soare XR, maybe a very cheap $50 version would be the Cast King Kestrel, which weighs only 135 grams. And with this rod, put some 6-pound braid, but put good braid. Oh my gosh, hold this in your hand, folks. Just hold it in your hand. Look how it casts. I did not feel line going through the guides. It feels absolutely amazing. I'm telling you, this float fishing rig, I don't know how many people in the United States have my amount of experience with float fishing rigs, but this is something new even for me. It feels so light. The resistance is a little bit better than the Legalis too. I mean, the whole thing feels a different level of lightness and sharpness that I'm just not used to feeling stuff like that in a float fishing rig. I definitely have other rigs for twitching that feel like that, but I'm just not used to feeling like that in a float fishing rig. So anyway, this is the longest outro I have done, but I wanted to say that before the final review, because the final review I have to cut it out and I don't know how much time I will have in the final review. But if you're considering this rod because you don't want to ship stuff from Japan, keep in mind these are the best applications for this rod. This is it. Take one last look from beautiful Tennessee and I'll see you soon. Bye bye, guys.